Okay, Floral Hokies, I am going to teach you how to make a corsage. Now I want to let you know that I ordered these flowers on January 20th and it is now March 30th and the roses amazingly are still alive. These little daisies are not doing as well and the baby's breath is great. I can't believe it. So don't worry, yours will not be ancient flowers. The first thing that we're going to do is attach your bow to your bracelet. Remember that this will be on your wrist like this, so the flowers will be this way. So when we attach the bow, you want it lengthwise. I'm going to fold these little pieces of metal in because we won't be needing those. I am going to put a good amount of this cold glue on the bracelet, just the center of the bracelet right there. I'm going to place the ribbon right in the center. You have these wires, you can get them under those little tabs that we folded. Make sure to hold that ribbon in the center while you're doing this. And I would suggest that you turn it over, and you can even wrap this wire around just for added security. That glue might not do its job. So I'm just gonna wrap the wire around. Make sure your wire ends at the top, not at the bottom, so that it doesn't poke somebody in the arm. There, my ribbon is attached to my bracelet. We will have some craft paper like this put down because this cold glue can get really messy. Next, we're going to attach these pieces of leather leaf to the corsage. I'm going to lift this up here, and that is where I'm going to place my first piece of leather leaf. Then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to place my second piece over here. Need to clean some of the little pieces off. So I'm just going to strip those off. And I have two pieces about like that. It's okay to use your snips when you're doing corsage work. You don't have to use the knife. All right, I'm going to lift that up. And then I'm going to add some of the cold glue right here. Put that leaf tucked in there. Let the ribbon fall. Turn it around. Pick this up. Put a dab of cold glue on here. Add the leaf. Tuck it under there the best you can. And then let it fall. We now have the two main leaves attached. I'm going to add some other of the greenery now. I'm going to take one of these little pieces. I've already trimmed off the bottom. I'm going to lift my bow up, but I'm going to leave this loop down. And I'm going to put a little glue in the center there. Tuck my leaf in. Fold my ribbon. I'm going to come to the other side and do what I did there. Take another one. I need to clip that little piece off the bottom. Add a little piece of glue in there. Tuck that greenery in there. Whatever I do to this side, I have to turn around and do to the other side. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these while I'm thinking about it, since I hadn't. Put my glue, add a little green, push my ribbon down, come to the other side. Let's see, I'm going to tuck that right in there. A little glue. The glue is a mess, I'm telling you. That's gonna be your biggest complaint. That glue was messy. All right, oops. Get that facing, those are facing sideways. Don't want them facing sideways. I want them facing up and down. There we go. So there is some greenery, and now I'm gonna add some greenery on the side. I'm gonna come over here, lift this up. I'm not giving it enough time to dry because of the video, but you guys might have to give it a little more wait time than I'm giving it, because I can see that my greenery is moving around a little bit. A little glue here. All right. Put my greenery in there. Yeah, my greenery got twisted. There we go. Straightened it up. And this is what it should look like now. You have greenery attached. And the whole thing. I'm gonna let it sit and dry for a second while I trim my flowers. My roses are gonna be next. We're gonna glue 3 roses in. So I'm gonna cut them right below the bulbous part, which is called the calyx. It's gonna be right there. You leave all this greenery on, but you might want to clean it up a little bit. That one's a little beat up, but I like the rest of them. Do that to everyone. Remember, you leave the calyx, and these are sepals, leave those. But you can clean up some of the petals if need be. Like I said, these poor guys have been in that cooler since January. They've had a hard life. All right, I'm leaving the sepals, just taking some of those uglier side petals off. All right, they're ready to glue in. Directly in the center of my corsage, I'm gonna put a pretty good size dollop of glue, and I'm gonna take my more open rose, larger rose, and I'm going to set it right in the middle. I will need to wait about a minute to let it dry just a little bit. Once you have done that, you're ready to add the other 2. I'm gonna lift these 2 ribbons. It's important that you pay attention to where the ribbons are while you're gluing, because you don't want to glue everything on top of the ribbons. You want some of the ribbons to actually be dispersed into the design. So I lift 2 up, I left 2 on the bottom, putting another dollop of glue, placing my 1 rose there. I'm going to turn around, and in this one it looks like I'll lift just 1 up, put a dollop of glue in there, add my rose, and see how there is pieces of ribbon throughout the design. I'm not just gluing on top of the ribbon. I'm making sure that I move those little loops of the ribbon and include them as part of my design. I'm gonna let this sit and dry while I get my daisies ready. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to put your corsage on your wrist every once in a while and check to see what it looks like. We're gonna add the daisies now. Remember that your daisies are gonna be a lot fresher and much prettier than the ones I'm putting into my design. I have decided that I do want to put a daisy under my rose like that. So I need a longer stem on that daisy. I'm gonna lift my rose, put a dollop of glue, tuck that daisy under the rose like that. Remember, anything I do on one side, I turn around and I do it on the other. Lift my rose again, dollop of glue. The glue is messy, that's why we have the paper. Put my rose down. So now I have a daisy on each side of my corsage. I'm gonna put another daisy over on the side. We're gonna put a dollop of glue in there and add the flower on in the side. This helps cover up mechanics on the side. All right, looks like we could use something right here. I'm gonna lift that sepal up because I'm gonna put the daisy right under that. And stick it in there. See how I still have loops up in the design though? There's not flat loops and everything glued on top of it. The loops are pulled up into the design. And there's my daisies. I'm gonna come over on this other side. It looks like there's a nice gap right there. Gonna add a dollop of glue. Gonna put a daisy on it. Put that in there. Let me see. And I think I need another daisy right about there. Another dollop of glue. Such a mess. I'll even put a little bit on the daisy itself. Get that daisy in there. All right, I like how that looks. Now our daisies are in our design. We are now going to add the baby's breath to soften up the look of the whole piece. So I'm just cutting some of my baby's breath off. And we will use it in the corsage. Gonna clean these up a little bit, and I'm going to cut them pretty small. I'm gonna cut them off the big branch and just have these little tiny branches of them. All right, there we go. Something that works well with the baby's breath is putting a glob on your paper and then grabbing your baby's breath, dipping it in the glue, but you see how fast it starts to dry. That's the only problem. Remember, you're moving ribbon apart and sticking your baby's breath down in your design. I'm gonna get another piece. I think some baby's breath could be used right here on the side. So again, it's drying up a little bit, but I can poke it in there, put that baby's breath down inside. And I'm just filling in holes. Like I think right here in between these two ribbons, we could use a piece of baby's breath. So here we go. Pull those ribbon apart. Put that glue down in there. This is when it gets messy. There we go. I'm gonna put another piece over here. Put that in. Oops, sorry. Put that in there. Let me see. I think I need to work on this side. Get some baby's breath over here. My glue is really drying up. Might be time to put some new glue down. That's totally okay. Oh, look at that. It's looking pretty. Since my glue dried up, this last one, I'm gonna go ahead and put the glue down in there. Put a piece of baby's breath in there. All right, I think my baby's breath is done. And with the baby's breath, your corsage is finished. Okay, some of the things to think about. See how I see loops? I didn't just glue flat onto the ribbon. I pulled the loops through. I don't see any glue or any mechanics on either side or here. I've covered everything up. All right, let's see how you can do.